Well, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in the middle of Kansas. Very quiet, very peaceful. I'm out at the local college here, and I think the campus, it's a Saturday, so I think it's rather empty. The library's not open on Saturday, so I've only seen one or two other people in the few hours I've been here. And, it's one of those days where you just want to kind of relax and do nothing, which I think I've done. I've kind of, this whole afternoon has been a nothing afternoon for me. But I need to get these, I've got all this video footage shot, for my trip. And I need to put it together, get it uploaded to YouTube, and see if any of it's interesting. Now this driving into Springfield, it's not interesting. I will admit it. It's just me behind the wheel of my car, driving down the road, trying to get closer to Springfield, and basically saying not much of anything. But I thought, well, you got it there, so why don't you just go ahead and put it together and see what happens. Now, the reason it's there is kind of simple. When you're traveling, especially if you're traveling by yourself as I was, you have very few options of what to do to keep yourself entertained when you're going, 100, 200, 300 miles at a stretch. You have the radio, and if you can't find a station you like with music you like, that's kind of out. If you get into audiobooks, as I have, that's always good, but I think at that point I had listened through all my audiobooks. And for me, I also have this vocabulary word book that I would go through every day, and I would to try to enhance my vocabulary. Well, I'd already gone through all those. So what's my next option? Well, I've got this iPad here. Why don't I just set up on the dash of the car and just record myself driving down the road? I know, it's stupid, but maybe people 100 years from now might appreciate it. Maybe they'll find some interest. Maybe I'll say something, who knows? You never know if you don't try. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this, really. I had an idea. I was wandering around. I'm driving on, going west, I believe, here in the state of Illinois, and driving on a state road heading towards Springfield, about 93 miles out. And I got this idea because I've gone through my vocabulary words, and it's 9:30. I think I'm on Central Time. I'm not sure. And I thought, why not record what I do? Okay. I lost interest in listening to regular radio stations for music a long time ago. I'll kind of wander around and look for something. If I hear a song I like or I'm familiar with, I might listen to it. But listening to sorry about that. I got to figure some way to get this thing better situated, especially in these bad roads. I got to figure out some better way if I'm going to make many of these recordings like this to fix this iPad in place, because this road is just not good. Typical not good state road. Just seemed like they built it and then just left it rot. Anyway, it is 9:36. I think I'm on Central Time. I'm not sure. I might still be on East Coast time. Alright, let me see if I can try this one more time. The road's still pretty crummy. 9:38 now in the morning. Got 87 miles to Springfield. It is, of course, August the 13th, 2012. I don't like the way this rattles. I need to get some type of something to kind of hold it in place. That would be nice. I was traveling along, and roughly, as I said before, I'm done with the vocabulary words. I've gone through all the ones I know. I added some new ones this morning, so my trip to the Panera Bread there in Terre Haute wasn't completely without accomplishment. And I thought, okay, now I was going to look for some radio stations. A long time ago, I lost interest in listening to radio stations merely for the purpose of music. Even music I like, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't add anything to the environment. It doesn't give me anything worthwhile. Every now and then I'll come across a song that I'm familiar with or I like, and I'll listen to it. But to listen to the radio station for music for any lengthy period of time, it's been a long time since I've done that. So what I do is I search for talk radio, because I like to listen. You know, I am a big Rush Limbaugh fan. I like Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity. I'd lose a lot of friends over that, but hopefully the best friends are the ones who will let you be who you are. So what I do is I look for them on the radio when I get to an area. And I thought it was very interesting. You listen to the radio, dang, this road is terrible. This road is terrible. I'm going to hold this off until I can maybe get onto a better road. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I mean, as one who believes there's a reason for anything. Oh, now they're moving. Okay. Well, so much for that. There's a train that is 7, 8 cars long, and it just stopped right in the middle of the road. And I'm like, why in the world do you stop right in the middle of the road? But now they're moving, so maybe I can get moving. And I'm still 47 miles from Springfield. This trip is taking forever. Okay, I think I'm on a decent stretch of road now. I believe this is Interstate 72. Never heard of Interstate 72 before. Interstate 70 is the road I need to get back on to head back into Kansas. But this is Interstate 72 heading toward Springfield, Illinois. I am now roughly about 23 miles out. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning, I think. I'm going to say yes, it is. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. And what I've been trying to get to before was one thing I do with my radio stations. I'm looking for something to listen to, something to keep my attention. And regardless of what you think of Glenn Beck or Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity, they do keep your attention. You know, I would imagine for people who assume the opposite position from what their positions are, you're riveted because you want to argue with them so much. For people who embrace those positions, you want to listen because it adds something to you and it helps you learn more. That's my perspective. Now, to find those, I just go through and I scan through all the stations, and it's interesting when you scan through the stations and what you pick up.
Drinking before they know it all.
Okay, this is a station right now, 100.9,
and keep talking.
That Glenn Beck is on.
Underage drinking and what to say to your kids.
Yeah. You pick up the same things, you know, R&B stations, pop stations, country stations, you know.
Springfield's #1 hit music station, 103.7 WDBR.
Every station, country station there, they all sound the same. You know, from one state to the next.
We want to make sure that we preserve and protect Medicare.
Well, the Obama campaign is striking back in a new online video targeting Romney's VP pick. The spot portrays the Romney-Ryan ticket as a threat to Medicare and Obama as its protector. Overseas, Syrian rebels...
That is so absurd, because they're saying that Obamacare cuts $700 billion out of Medicare, and so it's like, wait a minute, you're saying that Paul Ryan wants to destroy Medicare, yet you're admitting that you can politics. Forget it.
Eric Holder.
So you.
He's in Iowa. Peter Mayer, CBS News, the White House. The New York Times reports major credit card companies.
So you go through. Top of the hour, you get all these news stations. At the bottom of the selection, you get a lot of the preaching stations and some gospel stations, some inspirational stations, Christian music stations. And somewhere around here, 91.9 is where the NPR public radio stations come in. You know. Then there's always the hard rock stations. What's so interesting about this to me is, you know, I've traveled through a number of different states these past couple of months, listened to a number of different, you know, radio stations through all these different states, and the selections are always the same. You know, if I didn't know that I was in Illinois right now, you know, I could have been in Virginia or Kentucky or North Carolina. I'd hear the same thing. The same type of music, the same selection of stations available, and it's like no state has anything that is indigenous to itself anymore. So I look for, like I said, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, something to listen to that I think will add to me as a person. And that's not saying that I agree 100% with everything that those three guys say, but they are interesting, they're entertaining, and I think they're honest. Well, there you have it. That's a little bit of my driving through Illinois on my way towards Springfield. I might need to rename this. I mean, because driving into Springfield, I'm not really driving into Springfield, you know, but I think I'm still 40 some odd miles outside of Springfield. But my reason for Springfield was I wanted to see the Abraham Lincoln's home. You know, his home is where he is buried, and they have a wonderful presidential library and museum there. But I would caution anyone who sees this that if you do visit there, be aware of their no photography policy. You can take pictures in the rotunda area, but the exhibits they have, that is a big no-no, and I learned that the hard way. So it's very well worth the visit, and I hope to see it again someday, but no pictures anywhere except in the rotunda area. So I don't know why. You know, it's kind of puzzling to me. I mean, there's talk about copyright situations, and I don't understand copyright laws. You know, it just doesn't quite make sense, but that is what it is. Oh, and you know, it's interesting when you're traveling. You know, what do you do to entertain yourself, to help those long drives pass by quickly and easily and comfortably? I like the radio stations. I like finding talk radio. I like to find someone on the radio who is saying something that I'm thinking, okay, this is interesting. I may not agree with what the person says, but it's interesting what they're saying. So, anyway, if you're into Springfield, stop by and check out the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum. It is well worth a visit.